are here to talk about on this very special day. It's December 3rd. We've been talking about it all day on air. And we are here to talk to two lovely ladies who are going to educate not just me, but also you on the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. I've been calling it Disability Day, but we should actually call it what it is. And so I've got Farhat here with me and Madiha. Welcome to 89.
Thank you, Alam, for inviting.
Thank you for having us.
Let's just tell everyone why you're here, who you are first, and why you're here. Because I'm terrible at it. So, but it's better to come from you.
My name is Farhat Rasheed. I am a wheelchair-bound person by birth, but I have never ever allowed my disabilities to prevail over my abilities. I have a very good family, and they have always encouraged me to move on in life. Apart from family, I've got brilliant friends who have always encouraged me. I have done my master's from CBM, worked at Unilever Pakistan Limited as assistant brand manager, and today I'm running my own family business. I export rice globally and also have packet rice by the name of Shahenshah in local markets. So it's been a long, challenging journey, but today, alhamdulillah, I'm at a position where I work and live independently after all the efforts. I'm grateful for Allah for wherever I am. Apart from work, I have a social project by the name of Show You Care. It's a group of friends who work for a cause, and that cause is to create awareness regarding lack of accessibility in Pakistan.
Right.
There is no concept of ramps and elevators in public places, and I feel this is a basic human right for a physically challenged person to move on in life, to go out and about very everywhere, whether it's education sector, it's a hotel or a restaurant or a cinema, because I feel that apart from studies and job also, you have a right to socialize also,
Absolutely.
to go out and have fun with friends.
Absolutely.
So I would say all public places. So I want to be the voice for physically challenged person of Pakistan, because I feel this is a basic human right which needs to be there, and no favors, no sympathies, and I feel that everyone should be in the mainstream life.
110%. 110%. Madiha, how are you helping in all of this? How are you
So
helping?
I am Madiha Qadeer. I'm head of external engagement at NOWPDP, which is network of organizations working for persons with disabilities in Pakistan. We are a disability inclusion initiative working for empowerment and inclusion of persons with disabilities for the past 16 years. Across all of the areas, including economic empowerment, education, welfare, healthcare, all of it.
Right.
So it's been 16 years since the organization was born, and it has been a journey. While there has been progress, we still need to make a lot of strides in that direction. And I think Farhat is a great example of how far we've come and still how far we need to go.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
Even I'm part of NOWPDP, a board member,
Yep.
and I feel honored because I feel that I'm doing very much for all the differently able people. We aim that they get good education, they get good jobs, because that's how they can earn their own livelihood and be independent. And I'm sure that they can also contribute much more in the economy of Pakistan as well.
Speaking of, jobs, you've been in the corporate sector for a very long time. Like starting from like when you were first graduating and then applying to jobs and whatnot. We talked about how, there were a couple of places that you had in mind and you were like, okay, I'm going to pick these places. It was mostly because you were like, okay, maybe these places will be more accessible to me and the others won't be an option.
Yeah.
Do you think that like overall there are more options now as to when you were first starting out?
When I was applying for jobs, of course, like every other student, it was my dream also to work somewhere.
Of course, yeah.
And my friends had like 30, 40 options to apply. And I just had a handful, like 3 to 5 maybe, or not more, to apply for a job. And I was very much stressed out that what if I don't get a job? Only because I'm on a wheelchair, not because that I don't have the caliber to work. I did have the degree.
In case we missed this, you're also gold medalist.
Yes,
So
alhamdulillah.
anyone should be like, I mean, in fact, instead of you going out there and approaching people, they should be coming to you and being like, we want you.
But people have rejected me.
What?
Yes, only
How dare
because
they?
I refused to travel in trains. Only because I requested to build a ramp. And they didn't say that this is the reason we're rejecting it. But,
I mean,
ghuma phira ke type ke,
gold medalist,
you
for
aren't
God's
compatible
sakes.
enough. So I knew for the fact that in the interview they questioned me. And, I want to be honest. If I can do something, I can. If I can't,
Yeah.
I cannot. And I just politely said that because I know trains in Pakistan are not accessible. I cannot travel in that.
Any
So,
transport
yeah.
generally.
So yeah,
in
of course,
Pakistan.
like even buses, taxis, nothing is accessible over
Anything,
here.
nothing is accessible.
So, but then I'm grateful that I got a job at Unilever Pakistan Limited. It was quite challenging. We went through 6 rounds of interviews, and in my last interview, that sentence I can never forget from Assam Malik, chairman of Unilever Pakistan Limited. He said, "I am hiring you because I know your abilities, not because of disabilities." So, which means no sympathies. He saw who I am.
Right,
He saw my work. He saw my abilities.
right.
And throughout my childhood, I would say that all the sympathies I got, today everything has gone to appreciation and all that, now
That's how it
she's
should
very
be,
so no more
essentially.
sense. So that day I felt good, and I was the first wheelchair-bound person in the head office of Unilever hired in there. So, and they were really nice because they took care of everything. Basically, I didn't need anything except for a bigger washroom and a ramp at the entrance, an elevator. So that was it. It was all there. But still, they kept on saying that we need to improve ourselves in terms of, in case of any fire, any
Right.
emergency, they wanted a way out for me to run,
Right.
or they wanted me to, maybe press the lift buttons myself. It was on a height.
Right.
Over there, the guards used to help me, my colleagues used to help me.
Right.
So, me, a person who was rejected, who was also in stress of getting jobs, I was very happy, and I always told them that there's no issue over here. I can work myself.
Yeah.
You have a ramp, you have an elevator, you have a bigger washroom.
Yeah.
I don't need anything. But they said that no, we want to improve more.
Right.
So, because, after looking at 50 places,
Yeah.
who had a flight of stairs, who didn't know meaning of a ramp. So for me, this was really good.
Yeah.
So, but the good thing was they wanted to improve. Today, I am doing my own business of rice. I export that globally, and in my own company, my family business, started by my uncle, and my dad also is there. So we have an edible oil and rice business, and our company name is Westbury. So our office is 100% wheelchair friendly as well. So, but today I'm in touch with Unilever as well because they gave me confidence. They made me travel, and I had a brilliant time over there. So
I
they
mean, essentially, at the end of the day, it's just making you feel included, right?
right.
That's it's the simplest thing. Kids in schools also, from a very young age, if they're excluded out of something, you tend
Yeah.
to kind of close down and you tend to kind of, feel isolated. People who are, and I would say differently abled, people who are differently abled in so many ways feel very isolated.
Yeah,
And
true.
essentially what Unilever did was they treated you just like everyone else.
In fact, I used to represent Unilever in a lot of places.
Lovely.
And when I used to be there, people wanted to hire me also to represent as a diversity that we have diverse people on board as well. Some time back, Unilever approached me to do a motivational talk. I give talks as well.
Right.
And I was like, okay, what's the event? And they're like, we have hired 10 differently abled people
Right.
across Pakistan. And since you were our first wheelchair-bound employee, so we want you to be the example and encourage them. So I was really happy to hear that, okay, I'm so glad that the hiring process is there.
Right.
And the challenges I went through slowly and gradually they're diminishing. Because that's what Show You Care also works. That's what NOWPDP also works to make an inclusive society for everyone. So I was like, sure, I would like to come. And when I visited, I saw a huge difference. Like for me, Libra was perfectly fine before as well.
Right.
But then now they have, elevators buttons at wheelchair height. To go onto a stage, there's a ramp over there.
Right.
And plus any wheelchair bound employee they're hiring, they're giving them a motorized wheelchair.
Lovely.
So I had my own. They saw me using it, and now I'm so glad that they're giving it to
Other-
fresh graduates. So they're so happily working, independent. That you tend to forget the challenges of life we face every day. You get that inclusive atmosphere. You learn every day. You're part of the society. You're contributing. They have their own degrees as well. So why not? They move on
And
as
it's
well.
not a lot. Like the changes that they're doing in the workplace are not a lot. It's not like they're going out of the way.
It's all basic steps.
It's very basic. Moving that button lower,
Exactly.
putting a ramp.
Yeah.
These are very basic
Very
changes
basic.
that you can make to any company, right? And it's also, I feel like, a mindset change, right? Essentially.
Yes, and it's about awareness as well. A lot of these corporates, even if they're well-meaning, do not have the awareness on what kind of changes to do, because uncertainty is kind of scary, right?
Right,
You're scared of something that you've never done before.
right.
Change is a little scary. So that is the reason. Now PDP also works with a lot of corporates. We help with employment of persons with disabilities. We have done a lot of work in the banking sector together with the State Bank as well, with the 2021 policy of the 5% quota for persons with disabilities to be hired in banks. So there is change happening. We are also working with the corporate sector to make that change happen. A lot of our partners are doing really well over there.
Lovely.
And to bring about that sustainable empowerment, I would just like to go to the point of that that journey starts with identity.
100%.
Right. So persons with disabilities, according to numbers from the UN, 15% of our population is persons with disabilities. Pakistan, yes.
That's a huge number.
Can you see them?
That would be almost the whole population of Karachi,
Yeah.
right? But
Essentially.
when we think about it, our interactions with persons with disabilities are not in spaces where they should be. We don't see them in our public spaces, our spaces of entertainment, our spaces of education, workplaces. And that is the inclusion that we talk about. That is the inclusion that we're trying to bring about. But when essentially a person doesn't exist, right, without an identity,
By this,
how are they
you
getting
mean
counted?
the ID card,
Yeah.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Essentially, if you have to exist in a country, it's that one little card that
Absolutely.
you're given that says you have an identity.
You count
Yeah.
in all
You're a
senses of the
number.
word.
Essentially, you're a
Yeah.
number to all of those organizations that are making all of those like changes and laws and bills according to those numbers. So if
Absolutely.
you're not a part of those numbers, that means you don't have a voice. And if you don't
Yes.
have a voice, you can't stand up and be like, or even basic things like a friend was telling me that without an ID card, you cannot get basic health care. If you're
Absolutely.
pregnant, you can't go to a hospital and have a baby.
Yes.
You can't get basic education. You can't get
Absolutely.
forget
you can't
job
travel,
level.
you can't do anything, right?
Yeah,
How are you going to, like when they say prove your identity, who are you then?
exactly. So
And
it's
having a
very important
disability is
conversation.
not something that should stop you from being counted anywhere.
100%.
And right now there are barriers to that.
Right.
So a lot of people don't even know that SCNICs exist. Special NICs.
Thank you for telling
Right?
me. It was a question I had.
Yes.
I always tend to mess up my acronyms.
Hmm.
But okay, so special CNIC.
Yes.
What does it entail? What comes with it?
Okay, so SC and ICs, how they're different from NICs, just in terms of the process, is that how generally we get our NICs made is that we go there and it takes a day or two
Right.
and the process is done.
Right.
On the other hand, for an SC and IC to get made, there are so many other departments involved where
Right.
a person with disability has to go to the health department to have their disability verified and the level of disability, and then
Right.
they have to go to another department, get their disability certificate, and then to another department, and then to eventually NADRA and get their NIC from there.
How
I
can
see
we make
heads
it?
shaking. But
No,
yes,
I
so
just
it can...
I feel like I mean, I hope there definitely nobody who's come up with all of these. There's nobody like that watching. But in case you are somebody who knows somebody who's watching this, what's wrong with you? Seriously, we over here when you digitize everything, you're trying to make things easier. You're trying to like lessen the steps. On one hand, they're trying to digitize everything. On the other hand, you're putting in so many processes that a lot of people will be dissuaded. Wouldn't want to go ahead and do
And
it.
And
especially-
that too, a
yeah.
special child who is difficult to move around in Pakistan.
Absolutely. When there's
How can they
such an
commute?
issue
How
of
can they come around?
accessibility.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, I mean,
Yeah, so that process can take anywhere from 10 to 12 weeks.
my question
opposed to
is
a day.
that if, people start, I think in all of this, the crux of it is that our people are just not thinking about it. Because if it's not affecting them or if it's not part of their day to day, they're just not thinking about it. But how can we get people to open their minds and maybe think about these things? Like, for example, putting a ramp outside a restaurant or having a bathroom that is big enough to accommodate a wheelchair, or even just have railings or have,
Yes.
these little things. How can we get people to open their minds and start thinking about it and including it in their day to day? How do we normalize it?
Give them penalties.
That's a good one.
And such penalties which they cannot afford.
Yeah.
Not just a cup of tea.
Lovely. Absolutely. You're right.
Yeah.
Because the Danda system works
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, I'm not kidding, because internationally I can sue the owner as well. If I don't have a basic access for me to go independently
Right.
to any public place,
Right.
I can easily contact the owner
Right.
and ask for my right.
It's part of their law.
Yeah.
They can't build a building. The guy who comes to do the final checks will not write off,
Yeah.
will not tick mark
There are laws
until
over
there
here.
aren't all of those
Yeah,
things
there
there.
are laws over here, but it's been bypassed. And there are no penalties.
There are laws here.
Yes, there are laws here. There are laws mentioning about the ramp, size, elevation, everything. But people say that here, they say it'll occupy space.
Oh, so it's an
Or
option.
they make so steep ramp that a normal person cannot even climb.
Yes.
Forget
I
about
have seen those
wheelchairs.
as well. I've seen those at
So
hospitals. And
it's
I'm like,
hilarious.
at a
And
hospital.
When they say, "Madam, please come. We have a ramp for you," I'm like, "Please, I don't want to fall. It's okay.
Right.
You tell me how to climb on it, and then I'll
A
say."
ramp that's like 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but in the laws, there are properly dimensions also given in KBC and DHA laws. However, there are no penalties, and there should be penalty so that it cannot be bypassed and mandatory whenever a new building plan is passed.
Well, I hope that somebody watches this, and I hope that those people who are watching will make some changes so that they make life simpler and easier, and also make it so that the minute you see a ramp, other people question, oh, why is this ramp here? And then they find out about it, and they also open their minds to it, and they also learn about why it's there and how it's there, and it becomes normal. It becomes a part of all of our everyday
Yeah,
lives.
I think now that people start talking about it, or at least identifying it as a problem and accepting that this is a problem that we need to fix together,
Right.
there can be progress that can be made. We at NOWPDP, our empowerment department also helps organizations and other institutions do accessibility audits of their facilities.
Right.
So the people who are willing, the part that we can play in making things better, in helping it go in the right direction, we're trying to do. Same with SCNICs, the solution for that we have are what we call one window camps,
Right.
where we bring all of these different departments together in one place and shrink the whole process of getting an SCNIC to just one day.
Lovely.
So a person can walk into the facility on that day, and when they leave after 4 to 5 hours, they leave with their shanacht, they leave with their identity on that day.
Lovely.
So this is something that NOWPDP has been doing over the past 16 years, and we have sort of now perfected the blueprint of it, the one window SCNIC camps, and we aim to expand it to all over Pakistan very soon. I would encourage everyone to please check us out on our
Yeah, yeah,
website. We have a UAN, it's 111 NOWPDP.
Yeah.
Go to our social media, just get informed and please get involved, because everybody's voice counts, every little step that we take towards inclusion in our own homes, in all the spaces where we're at. And I just feel if every one of us becomes an advocate for the cause at least. And that would also make a huge difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. Just before we end, we're going to be putting all the links right down here. So please make sure to click on them, go learn more about it, because we can only talk about it to this extent. We were talking about how we can talk about this all day, but you won't stick around to watch it all day. But go do some research yourself, go and tell people about it, talk to your friends about it, because it's very important that if we all start talking about it, it becomes a normal part of our lives, right? The conversation is not like a conversation we have once a year on this particular day. It should be something that we talk about casually every single day of our lives. When we go out to places, it's something that we question. We question why there isn't a ramp there. We question why there isn't more accessibility for people who are differently abled. So the more we talk about it, the more hopefully the powers that be will take notice and they will kind of make a change. Before we go, I would like to ask both of you, you know how we always have goals in life? We have goals that we set for the day, or we have goals that we set for the year. What are the goals that you guys have set for yourselves, whether it's with your respective organizations or whether it's just personally yourself? What kind of goals do you have set?
My goal, my main dream is to see Pakistan wheelchair friendly. I would like to see all physically challenged people to work independently. I want to see them in shopping malls, in schools, in universities, just the way I see them abroad. I see them crossing the roads themselves, but that's a really, really big wish list. But I still have hopes.
Here, let's hope they don't cross the road like at all, because
for that,
nobody stops.
Yeah.
Nobody stops here.
Nobody stops here. But my point is that they live in the mainstream and inclusive society.
Right.
And have proper education and start working. That's what we do in Show You Care as well. So please see our website also, showyoucare.pk.
And you're on Insta and Facebook as well?
Yes, so please follow that as well. And as I always say, that everyone has to accept their own problem first and then move on in life with a positive attitude and a smiling face.
Excellent.
So no sympathies, a little motivation and encouragement, and I think anyone can do wonders.
I mean, it's definitely inspired me.
So
for sure.
everything that Farhat said, our goal also is to just try our very, very, very best every day to reach that.
Right.
What Farhat said. And that is our goal, to just work towards it and give our very best every day that we can to the cause of disability inclusion.
The real satisfaction comes when you make a person smile. That's the biggest goal, I would say.
100%. And also just to see that, even if you are, for example, you came in through here, somebody or the other sitting out there, even if you open their mind a little bit, that they actually go home and they talk to 3 other people and they demand, they go out there and fight for something that you've been fighting for. Just that. It doesn't take a lot from your day. It doesn't take a lot from your life either. But just doing that, I think that's also a big, big thing. So I really hope that, everyone out there
thank you very
follows
much
in your footsteps.
Because shows like you will definitely help us, like NOWPDP, SYC and other NGOs who are there as a voice for physically challenged and special children, to create more awareness. Because these shows are really less. And I really wish that the shows across all media, there should be more public service messages, shows, success stories, examples to open people's mind.
Absolutely. Yeah. And don't worry, we may be less, but we're very loud. So hopefully, we will shout it out. And you guys are our friends. You're welcome back anytime, whenever you want to come by, have a chat. We will always be here. And we will always be there to help you with whatever. So
thank you so much.
Any volunteer work you need, we've got a whole building full of people. We will all come.
Yes, we do call out for volunteers. So anyone who will go to the website or call us will find out how and when to go about it.
Excellent.
So yes, we do have volunteer work that happens with organizations and individuals as well, across our 7 pillars, across different things. So please, like Ilham said, get connected, get engaged, get involved with the cause of disability
and
inclusion.
Get talking about it.
Yes.
Thank you so much, ladies, for being
Thank
here
you.
with me and spending the day with me, technically. Hopefully, we will see you again soon.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
very much.
It was a pleasure to be here. Thank you for your time and giving us the time and platform to give
Anytime.
out our message.
You're now friends of 89.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.